Hello everyone and welcome to the Evangelion Retrospective. This is going to be part 1 of 3 where I go over Neon Genesis Evangelion. Part 1 is going to be strictly about the anime. Part 2 is going to be End of Evangelion, the movie. And part 3 is going to be of the Rebuild series. So expect part 2 and 3 in the next week or two. I'd like to bring up that my art challenge is in 1 week from today. Actually, less than a week from the day this is uploaded. So you can still submit up until the 21st. I would also like to mention that we are almost at our goal of 200 subscribers already. The goal was going to be the end of the month, but as of the 14th, we're 9 subscribers away. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. But anyways, let's roll the intro. Before I got into Evangelion, I knew 2 things about it. It's a mecha anime, and it holds an extremely high status amongst avid anime fans. So all I knew going in and from imagery is big robots, a lot of religious symbolism. What does it all mean? I don't know. So I decided I would get my cousin and we would watch it now that it was on Netflix. And this was early pandemic, so we had nothing better to do. So we went in blind and we started watching it. And oh my God, man, was I mad when I finished watching it. So at first I was just kind of, this is really cool. I like the city, Tokyo 3. Misato picks up Shinji, then takes him under to the facility. He gets in the unit and he fights the angel. I'm like, this is all really cool. I can't wait to see where this goes. Every angel he fights, and yes, angels are the bad guys in this show, if you don't know. Every angel after that one is like a random geometric shape. There's no battle quite like the first one. I figured through the story that everyone exists for a psychological purpose. It was pretty evident that the creator Hideaki Anno was really fixated on psychology, not only because the show completely devolves into only being psychological and completely drops the Evangelion part, but because every character has a very textbook psychological meaning to them. Misato is Shinji's missing mother figure. Asuka feels the need to overperform and be better than everyone else because she had to grow up sooner than she was intended to because of the loss of her mother. Anyway, yeah, every character has some kind of psychological significance in the show. But the show really throws us down this rabbit hole of psychosexual development between these 3 14-year-old kids, and I gotta say, it's very uncomfortable to watch. It's extremely distasteful at times. As far as I'm aware, the whole waifu wars thing that's been going on for over 20 years started because of Evangelion. So we have a lot of grown adults fighting over which 14-year-old is the hottest. Yeah, it's just, we went over this meme in my Evangelion video. So I tried to look past all that. I thought there's going to be a grand finale of this show. It's going to wrap up everything in a tight little bow and everything. It'll be the most eye-opening experience of my life. And then I saw what the ending is. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Hi.
So yeah, in terms of, the artwork, I really loved the way the show is designed. Everything looks really cool. The aesthetic of Tokyo 3, the Evangelion suits. The plug suits have really cool designs. I just, they're skin tight suits on underage characters. Now, I have a weird love-hate thing with Hideaki Anno because he put me through such misery watching this show because I just kept anticipating things that just didn't happen, and then I was confused like crazy, and it only got more confusing the further you go. And then even after watching it, I would look up YouTube videos explaining the series, and I'm like, where did this come from? How am I supposed to know this? How am I supposed to gather that this happened from what I've been shown here? Also, religious symbolism in the show means absolutely nothing. The title Evangelion, just cool word. All the crosses that show up in the sky, just cool visuals. None of it means anything. Adam, Lilith, just because. Hideaki Anno made Shin Godzilla, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I can't hate him. But Oh man, I really liked the themes of maturity and psychology, and don't forget the music. The intro to Evangelion is one of the most iconic intro songs of all time, and who could forget that one drum loop at the beginning of every battle scene? So I won't slam the show for having budgeting issues and having to get creative at the end. I will slam it for not being planned from beginning to end. I understand Hideaki Anno was going through a major depression and got all fixated on psychology and decided this ending is gonna be all about the unraveling of Shinji. But it's still really messy. My main concern is we don't really get a conclusion with Gendo. Like, I remember when everything just pops and then he's in space or the sky and everyone's clapping for him and Gendo and Yui are there and I'm like, that's our conclusion for him. He gets his wife back, and I look it up and like, oh yeah, this is human instrumentality. I'm like, could someone have just said that so I understood, like, in the show? And then I'm like, oh, they're like, oh yeah, Shinji became God. I'm like, how was I supposed to know that? I thought he died. I couldn't understand anything that was happening. Am I just stupid? One of my favorite things that show that the budget was low was these insanely long holds. The elevator. My favorite one is when Shinji is about to squash Kaoru, and we get a whole minute and a half, I think, of him just before we get a black screen of him getting crushed instead of actually seeing it. But I gotta say, it's not a forgettable show. This show has haunted me for the past 2 years. I can't get away from it. Chiquita Rei is all over my Instagram Explore page all the time. Shinji as a character, it's hard to like him. You could argue that you're not supposed to like him, but like if he's our main protagonist, like you're not giving us many options. But he's literally always like, I don't think I can do it. It's too hard. My life just really sucks. I shouldn't exist. Bruh. I'm like, yeah, we all feel that way, Shinji. Get up and do something. Misato. She's the only character you're allowed to have feelings for. Unless you're the same age as the other characters. I don't care. I didn't like watching her get manipulated by Kaji throughout the show. Which, for instance, there's a scene where he kind of makes moves on her while she's too intoxicated to walk. Shinji and Asuka have the most... They just hate each other. Shinji's like trying to be passive and she's just kind of like, no, I'm going to make a problem and you're gonna have to deal with it. And that's them for the entire series. And obviously the point is that they need to mature to a point where they can cooperate with each other. Rei is a very interesting character. The younger clone of Shinji's mother. The epitome of Freudian psychology. Because Shinji cares so very deeply for this woman that resembles his mother. And he doesn't even know that she's a clone of her, as far as I'm aware. Rei is the coolest character in the show. She's cool. She just tries to do her own thing, and I'm not going to stop her. Kaji gets played off like a really cool guy to Shinji and all that, and I really don't like that because I can't get around the way he treats Misato and, what's her name? Blonde character who I forgot. But yeah, that kind of sums up my feelings about the anime. I was very unhappy with the ending. I was just totally confused for the majority of the series. It's just so incoherent, and I think that it does have really deep psychological themes. I just don't like its execution of them. But thankfully, I was told, oh, you don't like the ending? Well, guess what? They actually made a movie where they fixed everything. Oh my god! So if you want to hear me talk about End of Evangelion, aka Evangelion Retrospective Part 2. You're gonna have to like this video and just leave a comment that you want to see Part 2. If you disagree with my thoughts, let me know. I am totally fine with you seeing it differently. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I know about 80% of you aren't. I've been kicking into high gear with this content lately, and I want to keep that trend. Anyways, I'd like to thank my 2 patrons, Carrie Smith and Jason K. You guys have been awesome. If you want to hang out with us, we have a Discord server linked in the description of this video. But anyways, thanks for watching.